What is going on, guys? Very nice to see you in good health. So today we have an important follow-up from the last time you visited. We had previously discussed a guide to thwarting plague hearts, but we ran into an area of controversy in regards to incendiaries and explosives. So, come lounge in the living room and we'll talk.
What's up, guys? Happy to see you back.
Alright, so our discussion today will be pretty straightforward. Mascara brought up an interesting talking point about explosives and incendiaries.
Yes, London, I was trying to make the point that explosives are a much better and easier offensive option when destroying plague hearts.
Well, let's not forget that we also had to take into account which of the two categories are more economical on resource expenditure. But anyway, let's do this. Junior? So we left off talking about whether incendiaries are more effective than explosives, and ultimately what the outcome is when C4 is pitted against thermite when taking on plague hearts.
Well, why don't we look at the damage output first? Perhaps fuel bombs against box mines, or whistling box mines.
Alright, Junior, take us to a plague heart. So it is important to note that yes, plague hearts do increase in their vitality as other hearts are destroyed, but depending on how different the damage requirements are, I think it will give us a good idea of the damage differences between fuel bombs and box mines.
So you mean Junior will destroy one plague heart with fuel bombs, then destroy the next one with box mines, and depending on the disparity for required units of each consumable, we'll be able to determine which one is stronger.
Exactly.
It's hurting! Don't let up now!
Okay, time for a close encounter. Gotta keep at it.
So by this demonstration, it took just about 7 fuel bombs to eliminate one plague heart, but took only 4 whistling box mines to take out the subsequent heart. So it not only took less box mines, but on a slightly stronger heart. I don't know, London, it doesn't seem to be looking good for the incendiaries right now.
Yeah. As long as we're remaining objective here, the tactics for using one effectively is inherently different. Provided one is taking a stealthy approach, mines can be planted and left to detonate after evacuation. With fuel bombs, one can be stealthy all they want, but after throwing the first incendiary, Zeds will immediately swarm the heart. Unless, of course, there is a distraction. Even then, fires take time to expel their full damage.
That's what I was saying last time, London. Explosives are definitely the better option. I was right the whole—
Hold on, Mascara. We have one more test, and that is thermites against C4. Only with this test, to make sure we get the most accurate results, we'll be doing this on the same plague heart. So, Junior has his community, and I have mine. and we both play on the Nightmare Zone, so I'll show my community using Thermite on the 14th Plague Heart, while Junior uses C4 on his 14th Plague Heart, and see how big the disparity is.
I'm telling you, London, this is all just a waste of time.
Hush now. Junior, let's do this.
When a plan is right, it's right.
I was right. In your face, London, in your face. It took only 2 C4s to eliminate the 14th Plague Heart, and it took you a ridiculous 4 Thermite units to take it down yourself. Not to mention that you had to do a lot of running around to avoid the Zeds that figured you out. You wouldn't have got any of that trouble if you went with a C4 or 2. So that settles it. I was right, you were wrong, and now you know what it's like to be painfully wrong and look stupid in front of our guests. So I was right.
Anyways, while she goes off on her revelatory conniption, we can now objectively say that yes, explosives are much more effective than fire when thwarting Plague Hearts, not only in how they are used, but in damage output. There is much less risk in using explosives. Now there are alternatives such as napalm or the very potent Willy Pete grenade, but those are not craftable, so I'm not too concerned with their use.
And I was right. So, were you also going to talk about the cost effectiveness of their use now too?
Well, to be thorough, yes. Now, as we have covered last time, C4 requires a heavy amount of parts and crafting materials, particularly chemicals and scraps of circuitry. The crafting parts are the only replenishable part of that equation. Meanwhile, for thermite grenades, the crafting parts are just about half the required amount and requires ammo, fuel, and chemicals. Chemicals are the only non-craftable aspect. Also, crafting thermites only requires 1 specialization, meanwhile C4 requires 2 specializations. But this is of minimal concern for eliminating Plague Hearts efficiently.
Well, in addition to that, let's do the math, London. Every C4 crafting process grants 6 units of C4. Same with thermite, even with a filling machine. Now, we have tried other uses of C4 on other Plague Hearts, and they seem to require no more than 2 C4 units. meaning one can, in theory, take on 3 plague hearts with C4, while thermite users would only be able to take on 1.5 plague hearts. Crafting parts would also go in line with this, as thermites are half the cost of crafting parts.
And while we're talking about cost-benefit in regards to fuel bombs against box mines, with a filling machine one can craft 12 units of fuel bombs, while box mines remain at 6 units. Plus, this onion would argue that it is much easier to craft fuel than it is to craft ammo, especially for those who took my base guide to heart. Now, the second part of our Plague Heart guide is not exhaustive of all incendiaries and explosives, such as frag grenades, military mines, napalm, and the Big Bad Willy Pete, simply because they are not craftable and somewhat rare. But they may be worth talking about sometime in the future. Anyway,
to summarize for your guess, I was right and you were wrong.
Mascara?
Alright, London. Based on the experiments shown, C4 has demonstrated double the efficiency and safety for taking on plague hearts as opposed to thermite grenades. When choosing between fuel bombs and box mines, fuel bombs are the more economical choice with a filling machine and because of the resource required, while box mines remain the more efficient choice.
Well said, Mascara. Glad we could finally get this one out of the way. But that is all this onion.
And this onion.
That is all these onions have to say. Thank you very much for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Come back soon, guys.